Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Excuse the state I'm in. I'm not long back from a walk and I'm just out the shower, and yeah. I'm kind of procrastinating doing my housework. I've put laundry on, so if you hear any rumbling in the background, it's the washing machine. Don't worry too much about it. But yeah, earlier today, Rosika tagged me in the I'm So Annoyed BookTag, which was created by, I think it's Books I'm Not Reading. I'll double check that and I'll tag down below. And I thought, you know what? I'm a little annoyed at Rosika right now anyway, because she told me that you could read The Rhythmatist as a standalone. And yeah, you totally can't. And I've not long finished. I actually finished it like just after I came back from my walk, and I am feeling all the feelings. And yeah. Combine that with my skin is really dry right now. You can see from like all of this, I'm breaking out everywhere. My lips are really chapped and nothing I'm doing is working. So I thought it's a really good time to talk about pet peeves, right? Should we get into it? Let's get into it. Yeah, the first prompt, and when I'm over here, it's because my laptop's over here with all the prompts, you know the drill. But yeah, the first prompt is, do publishers ever do things that you find annoying? Share an example. I think like a lot of us, my biggest publisher annoyance is when they do a complete 180 or just complete overhaul of the cover or the book size or the format or whatever mid-series. One of the sort of like first examples I had of this that like I was really conscious of it happening was I used to read all the Anita Blake books by Laurel K. Hamilton, and round about book, I think it was like 14 or 15, they completely changed the cover. Now I'm not sure if it's because the covers, like the original covers, they did kind of scream sort of like late 90s, early noughties paranormal. So I don't know if it's they just wanted to modernise them or if there was a change in publisher or whatever, I don't know. But it does mean that, not on my shelf, but on my mum's shelf, because we were both reading them, we've got the original covers, and then halfway through it changes to the new covers. And that's really annoying because it's just a complete... It makes it look like we've got two separate series on the shelf rather than one coherent series. I don't mind minor changes. I appreciate that sometimes, you know, like ink goes out of stock or there's issues at the printing house or whatever. You know, minor changes are fine as long as they're keeping it within like as close to what they've been producing as is. But when they completely overhaul mid-series, I mean, I'm even okay if they change the style like at the end. So like at the end of like a sub-series, like take for example the Robin Hobb books. There's been like 3 or 4 different versions and covers. I've got at least 3 different like cover editions on my shelves, but that's okay because all of my farseers are the same. All of my live ships are the same. I'm okay with sub-series, but not halfway through an actual like series. Like no, just no. That does annoy me. It puts you off to an extent. Like it does kind of put you off if you know it's going to be like an ongoing series. It can put you off buying those books because what if they change halfway through, right? But anyway, yeah. Next one. Have you ever been annoyed by a spoiler, even something as simple as someone else telling you that there's a great twist? Yeah, I'm really anti-spoiler. If you spoil a book for me, even like a small way, I'm even less likely to pick it up. I'm also going to get really, really annoyed with you. And I'm going to hold that grudge. I don't hold grudges very often, or like for a lot of things, but I will hold a grudge for this. Thing that springs to mind is there is one of the guys I work with. Well, I used to work with him in the lab, but now he works in a different part of the business. But now that I'm back in the office, we see each other like most days now. And And when I first moved up to the Inverness lab, you know, we were all like sitting at the dinner table chatting away and things. I came on to books and it's like, oh well, it's like I read a lot of fantasy and things, and we got into Raymond Feist, and Magician's End had just come out. I'm nowhere near Magician's End, okay? Raymond Feist is, I don't know if you'd say he's one of my favourite authors, but he's one of the authors that got me into fantasy. So his books will always hold a very special part, like on my shelves and in my heart. So then he said something and I was like, dude, I'm not there yet. And then he said something, he's like, oh, well, you know, it's like, it should be obvious because of blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no. Now, anytime he does something or brings up a book, I'm very quick to be like, don't even think about it. Like, you can tell me about this book and you can tell me you enjoyed it, but just don't even. I'm forever define my relationship with this man as he's the one that spoiled that for me. He is the one who spoiled Magician's End for me. No. Next. This is quite a fun one. Have you ever been annoyed by what you discovered in a little free library, a book sale, or a used bookstore? Tell us what it is you found and why it was so annoying. So, unfortunately here in the UK, it's an absolute travesty, but we don't really have little free libraries. They are really, really sparse and rare, so I've not really experienced them to say, and definitely not enough to say that I've been annoyed by them. In the book sale or used books, I think the thing that probably annoys me the most is, and it's kind of like, I can understand why people do it, but it does kind of annoy me, is when you pick up a book and you're like, either in like a charity shop or a secondhand bookstore, and you're like, oh, that sounds really interesting. Oh, it's book 2. Oh, did they have book 1? No, they've got the entire rest of the series, but they don't have book 1 because someone else has already bought book 1. Because someone else has come up to it and gone, oh, that's really interesting. Tell you what, I'll buy book 1 because I don't want to commit to the whole series. And I can totally understand that and I have full respect for that. But it absolutely does my head in. Because then I get my hopes up and I'm like, oh, I really, really want to read this. But now I either have to go and try and find book 1 and probably pay full price for it, or I just have to, you know, wait and hope that they get book 1 in again at some point, or then I end up forgetting about it and I'm probably missing out on so many really excellent series because, you know, I don't have enough to read. But yeah, it's an annoyance for me. I can understand why people do it. I, like, wholeheartedly, like you do you, I have full respect for someone only buying book 1, but as a person who comes behind you, it's annoying. Be aware. Next, when it comes to short story collections, are you annoyed if there's a novella in the middle of the collection? I don't really read short story collections, so I don't know is the honest answer. I think I probably would because I feel it's a short story collection, it's not a novella collection. But really, really hard to answer that one. Yeah. I'm actually excited. My next book club, in real life book club that the local library is doing, our second meeting is in April and it is going to be a collection of short stories. So I've got that ordered from the library. So yeah. I'm excited to be reading short stories, but I really can't tell you if that would annoy me. I think it probably would though, a little bit. So prompt 5. Deckled edges, beautiful or annoying? You know, they can be both. I'm going to caveat this with saying I cannot think of a single book in my house that has deckled edges. I genuinely don't think I own any books with deckled edges. I don't come across them often enough to warrant them being annoying or not. So I'm kind of ambivalent towards them, I guess. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing, I don't find them particularly beautiful either. So both or neither, I guess. They're just not a thing I come across very often. Yeah. That's all. But I know it's a really decisive thing for people. So That's fair. You have your opinions on that. Next up, other people's annotations in used books or library book. Annoying, or are you okay with it? It would depend on the quantity. In a library book, I'd rather not. I don't know. It feels kind of rude and disrespectful to... I mean, I don't annotate books anyway, but it would feel rude or disrespectful to annotate a library book knowing that it's not my book. So why should I be writing in someone else's book? I do enjoy it when I pick up a library book and I come across forgotten tabs. There was particularly... when I was reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, that was a library book, and every so often I would come across like little sticky tabs pointing. They had like little pointed edges, and they would point to like a particular sentence or paragraph or like just the page in general, that obviously like someone else, like a previous reader, had like struck a chord with them or something. And I felt that really added to my reading experience. Because it wasn't too often, I'd just be reading and being like, okay, and then I'd come across a bit. And I had like this connection with a complete stranger. It's like, I'm really enjoying this, but I can see someone else's as well. And that was really nice. But at the same time, if someone had actually annotated, that would annoy me just because it feels disrespectful. If it was in a used book that I bought, I'd maybe be okay with it. To an extent, again, as long as it's not like every other page. If it's like a little note here or there, I'm totally okay with that. But if it's all over it, then I don't want to read your experience. I want my own experience. I'm happy to share my experience with you, but I don't want to read about your experience specifically. So yeah. The long-winded way of saying, yeah, that kind of annoys me. 7... If there's a series or collection of certain kinds of books, like an imprint, and changes are made, are you annoyed or okay with it? If yes, give an example. I think this kind of ties into question 1. It depends on the changes. If they're changes that can't be avoided due to printing issues or whatever, then as long as they stick as close, or even if they can't stick as close to like the specific cover as possible, if they can stick as close to like the theme or the heart of the cover, I'm okay with that. I will give you a pass. If it's a complete swap, no, that really, really annoys me, and it will put me off buying any more from that series, because what if y'all do it again? And it will put me off buying more series from that imprint or publisher, because hey, y'all have already done this once to us. That's a previous series. What's to stop you doing it to the next one, you know? And whilst I don't like colour coordinate my books or anything, I do like all my series to kind of be like, I like being able to look at my bookshelves and go, that's a series there, that's a series there. Here's a whole bunch of standalones, but hey, look, there's a series there, and that's pretty cool. But that's just me. So yeah, I'd obviously already answered that one. Next, do the decisions of characters in a novel annoy you? Ever annoy you? Share the book and what decisions you found annoying. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what decisions I find annoying, because that's spoiler territory. And as answered previously, I really don't like spoilers. However, characters do annoy me. I think it's a mark of a well-written character if I'm sitting there going like, you're an idiot. And my latest example of that happens to the book I just finished today, and that is The Rhythmatist by Brandon Sanderson. Joel is a really well-written character. I had a lot of fun with this book, particularly the banter back and forth between Joel and Melody. But yeah, Joel also annoyed me. The amount of times where like I wish I could just take him by the shoulders and give him a really good shake, or just slap him, or tell him to grow the fuck up. Joel, seriously. But that also just added to my enjoyment of the book, because I enjoy getting annoyed and mad at characters. If done well enough, you know. There's a difference, like sometimes I'll get annoyed at characters because, well, no, not really. I think if a character is just written badly, then it's not that I get annoyed at them, I just don't care about them. I think an example would be The Fake Mate by, I want to say it's Lana Ferguson. I DNF'd it back in January. Because honestly, both the main characters were just kind of, they were idiots, but not in the same way Joel was an idiot. They were just sort of like, you guys are supposed to be like really smart, and these decisions you're making don't make sense for your character. And I got to the point where it's like, in that case, I'm getting more annoyed with the author because she's making me really not care and almost like hope everything turns out for the worst for these characters. So yeah. Yes, I do get annoyed at the decisions characters make. That's all there is to it. Okay, are you ever annoyed by how someone organizes their books? What do you find annoying? Not really. It's your books. Go for it. I mean, I'll judge them, and I'll tell you that's not how I would do it. However, it has to be noted that although my TBR shelves, which are the ones you see up here, are in absolutely no order whatsoever beyond the order roughly that I bought them or they slot in, my bookshelves that are downstairs are very specifically, my hardbacks are separated out from my paperbacks, and then within that it's alphabetical by author and then series and publication date. By publication date. I'm really, really specific. And it annoys me if my own shelves are out of order and out of my particular order. But I mean, you do you, you know? If you want a rainbow shelf, go have a rainbow shelf. Does that make you happy? Excellent. Do you want to be as pedantic as I am and have them all alphabetized and in very specific series order? Absolutely. Like, full respect for that. That is obviously the right way to do it. If you want them in just whatever random order that pleases you, go for it. If you don't care what order there is because it really doesn't make a difference to your life, then hey, that's you. I'm not going to go in and reorganize your books for you. Like I say, I'm going to judge you, especially if they're in a really weird order. Because I guess it depends on how many books you have, but like, how do you find your books? For me, that's my big thing. It's like, I think there's over 400 books downstairs. So if I want a specific book, I don't want to have to sit and stare and go through shelf by shelf by shelf, because I'm not going to remember exactly where I put a specific book in amongst all the 400. That's why they have to go in a very, very specific order. But, you know, that's me. We are all different. I think the only time I would get annoyed at how someone organises their books is if they came in and reorganised my shelves. I think this is a very similar answer to what Rosika gave, but hey, we're all pretty open people here. Just don't touch my bookshelves. If you want something from my bookshelves, you ask me and I will get it for you. Unless I trust you. Like, there are some people I trust, like, you guys can go onto my bookshelves and take a book because I know you'll put it back properly. But that's all we got. And the last one is, share something bookish you find annoying. I don't know that. We're going to Google bookish pet peeves. Okay, we're on Reddit and someone asked, what are your biggest book pet peeves? Hello. Do you want to come visit? Come on then. Well, come on then. Say hello to everyone. Come on then. Can you see her? You want to say hello? Well, come on then. What? What is it? Come on then. Yes, you are. You're so good. Okay. I hate it when books take too long to describe a character. Seriously, Maisie. I'm stroking her belly right now, in case you can't tell. It's because the washing machine's on. She doesn't like the washing machine. Extremely long sentences. No, I don't care about that. Yes. You can just stay here with us. Yes. You're stuck now. You're stuck now. Movie Hollywood. I feel like these are book specific rather than like bookish habits, I guess. Someone's talking about chapter lengths. I get that. Like, if I like consistent chapter lengths, if I get like chapters that are like 4 or 5 pages long and then 20-30 pages long and then 4 or 5, that kind of annoys me unless done like for a specific reason. Like done for impact, I guess, but yeah. I don't know, it's a hard one. I'm really struggling to think. So I'm like, what's everyone else? Do I agree with any of these? Nope. Everyone else is coming up with like different covers mid-series. I'm like, yeah, that's already mentioned twice now. That's my biggest. That's it. No, that's it. I don't have any other specific bookish annoyances. Yeah. So that's us. Oh, fake stickers. I guess it's another thing that publishers do that I find annoying, is when they put fake stickers on books. You know, like, now a major movie or whatever. Like, no, either put that on there and let me peel it off, or just don't put it on there. Or like put it inside the cover or something, you know, like when you've got like the list of like the publisher's details or something, or under like the inner title page, like put it there, but don't put it on the cover, because then you take away from the cover. Artists put a lot of effort into those covers and I enjoy looking at those covers. So yeah, here's another one. Fake stickers. Pretty standard and common. Yeah. Anyway, I am now rambling, so we're gonna end it there. And yeah, I was tagged, but I'm not going to tag anyone else because I can't think of anyone off the top of my head right now. So if you have watched this and you think, yeah, I got some stuff that annoys me about books, either comment down below or comment your own video. Do consider yourself tagged. And in the meantime, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.